There is one conversation that ladies never have before surgery, and I believe it changes everything afterwards. I've spoken to ladies who were told how long the operation would be, how long they'd be in hospital for, and how long the recovery might be. But nobody prepares them for the morning they woke up and no longer felt themselves. Not because the operation had gone wrong or because they'd made the wrong decision, but because nobody had explained what surgical menopause can really feel like. So today, I'd like to change that. By the end of this video, you'll understand why surgical menopause feels so different from natural menopause, why it can affect far more than your reproductive organs, and the question I believe every lady deserves to ask before making decisions about treatment and recovery. So, grab your cuppa, relax, and let's have the conversation I believe many ladies have not had before surgery. Before we begin, I'd like to say something that's really important to me. This video isn't here to tell you whether you should or shouldn't have surgery. Only you and your healthcare team can make that decision. It's to help you understand what may happen, and understanding it can help you feel more prepared. Because I don't believe knowledge creates fear. I believe uncertainty creates fear. And when we understand something, it often becomes just like a little bit less frightening. Many of you know my own menopause journey began naturally in my early 40s after the birth of my youngest daughter. And I explained that in a few videos previously to this. My journey eventually led me to become a counsellor, and now I support ladies through anxiety, grief, trauma, life transitions. But over the years, I kept hearing another story. A story that wasn't being talked about enough. Ladies who'd undergone surgery, some because of severe endometriosis, some because of fibroids, and some because of cancer. Surgery was the safest and healthiest option available. Each lady told me something remarkably similar. So they would say to me, Susie, I was prepared for the operation. I wasn't prepared for how I felt afterwards. And that has stayed with me, because when different ladies from different backgrounds start describing the same experience, I think we need to stop, listen, and bring more awareness to such an important matter. Surgery can be the right decision. But before we go any further, many of the ladies watching today who may be preparing for surgery that could dramatically improve their quality of life. Perhaps you've lived with years of heavy bleeding, pain that stops you enjoying your life, endometriosis, large fibroids, or perhaps you've been diagnosed with a condition where surgery is recommended to protect your health. If that's you, please don't hear today's video as a reason to be frightened. Sometimes surgery is absolutely the right decision. It definitely can give you your life back. And today's conversation, it's about making sure you feel informed. Imagine you're walking down a gentle hill. It's gradual. Your body slowly adapts to what's changing. And for many ladies, that's a little bit like natural menopause. Hormone levels don't disappear overnight. They rise and they fall. Sometimes you'll have good weeks, and sometimes you can have difficult weeks. But overall, the body has time to adapt. So, surgical. Walk. So that's you on the top. One moment you're standing here, and then the next, this is a vast drop. And for ladies whose ovaries are removed before the natural menopause, the body's main source of estrogen is suddenly lost. Instead of years to adjust, and it being gradual, your body has to adapt over days and weeks, and that's why surgical menopause often feels very different. Estrogen isn't just about having babies, a reproductive hormone, but it is also involved in many other systems throughout the body. The brain. It helps to support areas involved in memory, concentration, mood, and temperature regulation. Bones. It plays an important part in maintaining bone strength. And the bladder. It also supports tissues around the bladder and vagina. And the heart. It has important effects on the cardiovascular system too. So when hormone levels change suddenly, it makes sense that you notice changes in many different parts of your body. I've heard the benefits and the relief of having ovaries removed, but also the negative accounts of ladies losing their identities and not being themselves anymore. For ladies who have had both the ovaries removed before the natural menopause, the body's main source of estrogen is suddenly lost, and that's why the hormonal change can be so dramatic. A hysterectomy alone doesn't necessarily cause surgical menopause if the ovaries are left in place. But when we understand that hormones communicate with many different parts of the body, those experiences can begin to make much more sense. Now, I also wanted to be really balanced here. Not every lady experiences surgical menopause in the same way. Some recover remarkably well, some have few symptoms, others find it more challenging. Neither experience is right or wrong, every lady is different. If two ladies have exactly the same operation, why can one recover relatively smoothly while another feels as though she's become a completely different person? The answer isn't just hormones, and that's what I'd like to explore next. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever found yourself crying and not really knowing why? Or perhaps you've looked in the mirror and thought, I don't feel like me anymore. If you have, I'd like to share something that I don't think we talk about enough. When I hear the word grief, most of us immediately think about losing someone we love. And of course, that is grief. But as a counsellor, I've learned that grief can also happen whenever life changes in a way we never expect. It could come from a divorce, a retirement, a life-changing diagnosis, losing a career, children leaving home, or after surgery that changes how you experience your own body. That doesn't mean every lady will feel grief after surgical menopause, but for some there is a very real sense that something has changed. For one lady, that may be the loss of fertility. For another, it may be the loss of the choice to have children. For someone else, it may be the sudden change in hormones that leaves her feeling unlike herself and suffering all sorts of new health issues she'd never experienced before. And for another, it may simply be the loss of the woman she recognises when she looks in the mirror. These experiences are deeply personal, and there certainly isn't a timetable that tells you when you should be over it. So imagine this tree, and the tree trunk is surgery. When most of us think about surgery, we focus on the trunk. So the main bit, which is the surgery, the operation, the hospital, the recovery. But life doesn't stop there. The branches represent everything else that surgery may touch. Your confidence, your relationship, how you see yourself, your plans for the future, your emotions and your hormones. And sometimes, like the operation heals one part of your life, while another part needs time, compassion, support to heal as well. And that's why physical recovery isn't just physical, it's emotional too. One of my clients said something I've never forgotten. She said, "Susie, everyone kept asking me if my wounds had healed," which they had, but nobody asked if I had. Externally, I looked okay, but internally, I'd lost a part of me which wasn't okay at all. And that has stayed with me because sometimes the scar we can't see is the one that needs the most kindness. So the science gently explained. We also know from research that hormones and the brain are closely connected. When hormone levels change, suddenly some of the ladies experience changes in mood, sleep, concentration and emotional well-being. And it certainly doesn't mean it's all in your mind. Usually it's more complex than that. Your biology, your life circumstances, your previous experiences, your support network, your thoughts, your physical recovery. All of these pieces come together, and that's why no two ladies experience surgical menopause in exactly the same way. So practical support. So if you're watching this and recognising yourself, can I gently encourage you not to judge yourself for how you're feeling? Recovery isn't a competition. You don't have to be back to normal by a certain date. Give yourself permission to ask for help. Talk to your healthcare team if your symptoms are affecting your quality of life. And lean on people you trust. And if emotionally you're struggling, please know there is no shame in speaking to a counsellor or another qualified mental health professional or organisation. I will leave some helpful contact numbers within the description below, as well as details of how to contact me if you would like one-to-one counselling. But there is another question that ladies ask me. If hormones affect so many parts of the body, does that mean HRT is the right answer? The answer isn't as simple as yes or no, and I think every lady deserves a balanced, honest conversation. So I think a better question is, what is right for me? Because every lady arrives at this point with a different story, different health, different medical history, different symptoms, different priorities and different concerns. And that's why there isn't one answer that fits everyone. Many of you know that I've taken HRT for many years. Personally, it has made a significant difference to my own quality of life. It helped me reduce my hot flushes, my night sweats, mood changes, and for me, it allowed me to feel much more like myself again. That's my experience, but it isn't everybody else's. Some ladies choose HRT and feel it transforms their lives. Some try it and decide it isn't right for them. Some cannot take it because of their medical history, and some simply decide they'd rather not. Every one of those decisions deserves respect. So let's draw 3 different paths. Let's have a look. Yeah. So we have a starting point. So the starting point, one takes HRT, one is non-hormonal treatment, and the other one decides on lifestyle and supporting therapies. I like to think of it like this. These 3 ladies on these 3 different paths are all hoping for exactly the same thing. They want to feel well. None of these paths makes someone a better woman or a stronger woman. They're simply different routes towards the same destination. Can I just say, comparison is one of the quickest ways to lose confidence. Just because your friend chose one path doesn't mean to say it's the right path for you. Current guidance tells us that many ladies who experience surgical menopause before the usual age of menopause, HRT may be recommended unless there is a reason it isn't suitable. That's because replacing hormones may help relieve symptoms and can also support longer term bone and cardiovascular health in appropriate circumstances. But that's a conversation that should always be individual. It depends on your medical history, your age, the type of surgery you've had, and your symptoms and your own preferences. Medicine is really about finding one perfect answer. It's about finding the safest and most appropriate answers. If HRT isn't right for you, please don't feel that you've reached the end of the road. There are non-hormonal treatments that may help some symptoms. Many ladies also benefit from looking at sleep, movement, stress management, pelvic health, nutrition, and psychological support as part of their recovery. No single approach suits everyone. Can I share something I've learned from sitting with clients? When ladies feel heard, they usually make better decisions. Not because someone tells them what to do, but because they've discovered an awareness or been given the information, the time and the space to decide what's right for them. That's what I hope this video is helping to give to you today. And please like and share and subscribe if this has. I'd like to finish today by asking you one final question. When you think about surgery, what is it you're really frightened of? Is it the operation itself, or is it what life might look like afterwards? Because if I'm honest, I don't think most ladies are afraid of surgery. I think they're afraid of losing themselves. And this is the fear that we don't always say out loud. And perhaps if you're wondering, will I still feel feminine? Will my relationships change? Will I ever get back my confidence? Will I still recognise myself? They're very human questions, and I think they deserve honest answers. From everything I've learned, from the ladies I've supported, from the research, and from listening carefully to women's stories, your life may change, but your story doesn't end here. Recovery doesn't always happen in a straight line, and some days you'll feel like yourself, some days you may not. Some mornings you may wake up feeling hopeful, and other mornings it might feel much harder than that. That's often how healing works. So I'm going to draw a path. So this is today. So we're on this path. So this is today, and then tomorrow we may take 2 steps back, but then we take a step forward. When we imagine healing, we often picture a straight line, almost as if every day should feel better than the one before. Life really works like that. Healing doesn't move in a straight line. Sometimes it bends, sometimes it pauses, and sometimes it feels as though we've taken 2 steps back. That doesn't mean you failed. It simply means you're still healing. You may take 2 better steps tomorrow. And the important thing I want you to remember, please don't measure your recovery against somebody else's. Social media has a habit of showing us the highlights. The lady who says, I was back to normal in 6 weeks. The lady who says, HRT changed everything for me. Or the lady who says, I never had a single symptom. I'm genuinely pleased for them. And their story isn't your story or a measuring stick. It's not your body, and it's not your health, and it's not your experiences, and it's not your recovery. They're uniquely yours. As a counsellor, I've learned something that continues to keep me humble. Human beings are remarkably resilient, not because life is easy, but because given the right support, the right information and enough compassion, people often cope far better than they ever imagined they could. I've seen ladies rebuild confidence, rediscover joy, reconnect with their relationships, laugh again, travel again, exercise again, dream again. Life after surgical menopause may look different, but different doesn't always mean worse. So the gentle truth I'd like to leave you with today: surgery may change part of your story, but it doesn't get to write the ending. You do. There may be new chapters, new decisions, new conversations, new challenges, but there can also be new strengths and new understandings and new confidence and new appreciation for the remarkable way your body continues to adapt and heal. If you're watching this before surgery, I hope you leave feeling more informed, less frightened and better prepared for the conversations you'll have with your healthcare team. And if you've already had surgery, I hope this has helped you realise that what you've been feeling may have an explanation, and if you're supporting somebody you love, I hope it's helped you understand their journey just a little bit better. If this video has helped you, would you consider sharing it with another lady who may need this conversation? Because sometimes the greatest act of kindness is passing on the information we wish we'd had ourselves. And if you'd like more evidence-based conversations about menopause, hormones and emotional well-being and midlife transitions, I'd love for you to subscribe and join me here every week. Also, I have a free ebook about unpacking the heart, understanding emotional load in midlife, as well as other ebooks I have written on menopause, surgical menopause and other midlife transitions, which I will leave the details below. Until the next time, see you in the next one.